Haha. Greetings and salutations. Steve Charlton 66 here once again with another video. And yes, it is a quicker video, well, time frame wise than what I expected to do. But I got some cool comics, got some birthday gifts, and some other things going on. So I thought I would do a video and see how everyone is doing and check in and keep things rolling. Hope everyone's doing well. It's July 3rd. Hope everyone has a great holiday. I don't know if it's going to be a weekend for some people. Us retirees, every day's a weekend, right? No, seriously, I hope everyone's going to have a good 4th. Without further ado, go on and talk about some comic books and other things that have come to my attention that make me happy and make me irritated. I seem to be doing videos that have been kind of negative. That's not usually me. Maybe it's other things. I don't know. Um, but I got to talk about certain things. But get on some comic books and I interject when I'm talking about in between books. So without further ado, some of the birthday gifts that I have received from friends and my wife. So I get them in like little piles here. So they'll be off who gave me what. So if you just bear with me. Um, my friend John and his family, um, Amazon got me some stuff that I really enjoy. One of the things being, if you can see, you can't see it, but it's a right over here. I can't do this. Anyway, up over here, there's a Doc Savage 10, a sign of Doc Savage from Rox Ross after Steranko came on the Dynamite #1 comic book. So if you're familiar with that, it's that cool image of Doc, his men, a little montage of stuff, and it's a 10 sign that's on the wall. Other things they got for me, again, I spoke last video of other things that I got from Bear Family. The Destination series. Bear Family is a record company out of Germany. If you're into old music, if you're into obscure and what Dick Spotsworth used to call obsolete music, this is a company for you. I've mentioned them before. Other people who watch my channel and follow me on Instagram have bought things from Bear Family, and they know the quality of music and stuff that they give out. So part of the Destination series is a genre of music. For instance, this is called Meet Me at the Coffee Shop. And you can pause this for the different tracks and stuff. But it's songs and stuff about coffee from the 30s all the way up into the 50s and the 60s. So it's obscure, obsolete music. It's really cool. It's the Destination series. Um, Bear Family, the online shop, but you can go to Amazon and get a lot of the Bear Family stuff without worrying about stuff from Germany. The booklet that comes with it's phenomenal. A lot of information, obscure stuff, anything that helps you bag and board those comics and organize your comic collection is excellent background music. Along with that, the about it's called the Atomic Platters, and it's stuff about the atomic bomb, the atomic scare. There's radio shots and everything else from what you should do during a atomic attack from the 50s. Most of the stuff is from the 50s. Some of the stuff from the 60s, the 40s. Ever since they dropped the atomic bomb, there were songs and stuff about that. Novelty songs, serious songs, but it's all here at Bear Family. Again, there's 32 tracks on this, so it's well worth having. Again, the the liner notes, the book that comes with it is exceptional. It's pretty thick. It's 50 pages, 76 pages of stuff about the artist and the time frame that the U.S. was in fear of during the Cold War. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. Bear Family, highly recommend them. Um, if you think of some obsolete rockabilly country artist, guitar player, blues player, anything you can think of, Bear Family is going to have it. And some stuff could be pricey, but it is complete. They don't leave nothing out. Again, enough about Bear Family. One of the gifts my wife got for me for my birthday to go along with my Judge Fear, you have Judge Death in all of his glory. These are pretty cool. Like I said in my last video, I was taken aback by the size. I wasn't expecting them being so tiny, but they're cool. They don't take up a lot of space, like I said. And but again, I should have read the small print. But once I got the first one, I want to get the rest of them. And this is Judge Death. He's pretty cool. They have little platforms, and they got these I don't know, pegs that I think you're supposed to put the stands together, but I don't see how the stands are supposed to go together yet, but I'll figure it out. These little pegs right here, I gotta figure out how they work on the base. I think the stands go together at some point. And talking about what I was annoyed with as I unpack Judge Death here. CGC. Let's talk about CGC for a second. I hate CGC. I don't. They're in it for themselves. And look, you get a little heart, little heart to hold. Sounds like a song. Have a heart to hold. He is pretty cool. Look at the detail on him. He is pretty. I don't know how they do to make a focus on him. I don't know, but he's pretty neat. The sculpt is pretty darn nice on this guy. And this is Judge Death. He's gonna go up with Judge Fear in a few minutes. Well, in a little bit, and he comes with the extra hands. I don't change them out that often because it weakens them, and I end up breaking them. So, but they'll go in a little bag, and this is the base, skulls and skeletons and stuff, which is kind of cool. No, bonus CGC, the idea of what they originally set out to do, I kind of got. I kind of understood it. And there were people who were doing books that it should be preserved. But then they reared its ugly head on how it is just a money grubbing company that's manipulated our hobby to a degree that comic books are being inflated. But I've noticed between my last video and this one, everyone's scared, or they're rejoicing how much comic books have dropped in value. I shouldn't say value. I should say the speculative value has dropped significantly on a lot of books, which I'm happy to see. The prices have dropped, much to the chagrin of dealers and speculators who have paid a lot of money and collectors. And it goes back to what I had said before about videos of folks who are supposed collectors and readers. You no longer see them, and there's more added to that list of people you just don't see anymore because it's no longer lucrative for them because they weren't in it. Their heart, again, was not in it. What was it? The little heart. The little heart was not in it. The little heart was not in it. And the idea of sequential, I can't even say the word right now. It's early in the morning. The idea of the storytelling and artwork were not what they wanted, but they pretended to be. And they'll back their play by saying, "Oh, I collect how you collect how you want to collect. I collect how I want to collect." But that's your only go-to. You got problems. But anyway, prices have been dropping and dropping and dropping, which I'm happy to see. Hopefully, when I go to Baltimore with my meager funds, I will be able to score a book or two that I want. Um, but then we have in the news the X-Men Giant Size 1. I know everyone's seen it, and I'm late to the ball game talking about it. But you have a book with visible flaws that CGC is graded at 9.9 and put it out there for the world to see. Look at this. This is 9.9. It's got visible flaws. It's not a 9.9 book. And someone bought it for $170,000. A fool with their money, as they say. Um, but what does that do for the ones who are 9.8s and 9.6s? That's what's going to happen. Because everybody went, oh, I can get a 9.9 now. So everyone's looking at 9.9. So CGC is cornering the market. They know what they're doing. They're manipulating the collectors, the so-called collectors. They're manipulating the prices. What do they do to keep themselves in the news? What keeps them uh, relevant? And people complain about them. That's what I don't understand it. People will complain and complain and complain, but go, this is my next stack I'm sending to CGC. They're going to clean and press these books, and they're going to be, and I'm going to get 9.6s out of them and higher. Why do you do that? All this is money that you're losing. You're not going to gain the money back. I don't care what the books come back. The money you're paying to grade them books, you're never going to see again. You may try to put it in the price of the book. No one's going to pay you back for all that, and the price is just going to drop because what's going to be the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing that makes these books obsolete and no one will care about. And I know, and I've seen it happen numerous times, that CGC, they don't know how to grade books. They don't know how to do it. They get these people who do not know anything about comic books, who have some type of training, and they grade book. And I've seen the videos of the employees talking about what they do at CGC and how they grade books, and it's amazing to me. It's not some guy or some woman or some person or whoever who's been in the comic book business, who's been grading comics, who's been dealing with comics for 40 or 50 years, going into CGC working for them, because they'll never get a job with CGC because they're going to grade accordingly. And someone thinks, oh, I got a 9.8 book, and they come back as an 8.0 or 7.5 because that's the real grade. See, no one's going to go to CGC anymore. So what does CGC do? They keep upping grades and handing them out like candy, so that money keeps flowing in. And you people, not you, not my viewers, because my viewers rock. The ones, the speculators, and the ones who always want to have a slap book are falling for it. It's folly. And the whole idea that this book is a 9.9 is ridiculous. You can look at the pictures. There's dirt on the back. The spine's not square. I'm not a person. Look at. I'm happy with this comic book, so I'm not someone who walks around going, "Oh, my comic book is not centered. It's got the spine." Da, da, da. If I can read it and it's a fair price, I'm buying it. Of course, everyone loves to have a nice book in their collection. I'm not saying that. I'm not that much of a hypocrite where I'm going, oh, I don't want any near mint books in my collection. Of course, I got a lot of near mint books in my collection, but I'm not running around throwing money at CGC to have a book set where I can never read it again. And like I said, what I've seen before, and it's happened, I've seen it firsthand numerous times. CGC says a book's a 9.0. You sell it to a dealer. He'll look at the book, or she will look at the book. No, there's some ticks here, and da da da. This is an 8.0. I will give you. So already, CGC, who makes out on that? CGC. They got the money by charging you their fees, giving you a high grade book, and you go to sell it. the dealer says it's this, but the dealer sells it, they're going by what CGC says. So the only one that makes out in all this is CGC. And what do we keep doing? We, as a hobby, keep giving them money after money, fist after fist of money to grade a book that one will never read. Two, no one is going to agree upon the grade because we already know CGC doesn't know how to grade books. So there's going to be a discussion between the dealer and the owner of the book, the seller and the buyer, of that it's not graded what CGC says that it is. So I don't understand why they're still in business. I don't understand why they keep going to them. They meaning speculators or people who love to have graded books. Again, I've got good friends, and I know people who grade books and have them slabbed and everything else. You know, it's a tough thing. I'm not saying, it's something that's not worthy to the person, because I know the individuals that I speak of have both, and I understand to a certain degree if it's artwork or something like that, because you're not, if it's a sketch cover, you're not going to sit there and read a sketch cover, and I understand that. You got artists who are drawing a cover, wrap around, and it's got inks, it's got colors and everything else. You're not going to read it, and I get, and with a sketch cover, you can get the regular book and read it. That's with the newer books. I get that, because it's artwork. You want to look at it anyway. I mean, again, there are certain aspects, and I said that earlier, why I understand what CGC started out to do, and that's that type of thing. But when you have mediocre books, people sending it to thinking they've got some, and they'll create an environment where they'll make their video and say, you know, about a certain book, how important it is, or something. No one doesn't agree. No one agrees with you, but because you're saying it and you've got a name and you're an influencer, now all of a sudden everyone thinks they gotta have a certain book. You're creating things that are not there. There are YouTubers. It's clickbait. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. They say they're doing something in their video, and they're not doing that. Like a lot of the Charlotte Heroes World Convention folks were talking about. Yeah, this the show floor showing, getting keys and all this other stuff, and talking about all the stuff that's going to happen in the video. They don't do anything in the video other than walk around and show key books. There's nothing that they buy. Again, that's on them. They don't want to buy it, they don't want to buy it, but the video title indicates that that's what they're doing. And they're always showing CGC books. It boggles my mind. Give me a raw book. Again, that's me. I bought a CGC book? Absolutely. I'm not that much of a hypocrite. I'm spending $400. I agree upon the grade on a book. I'm looking at the book. It's there's nothing missing according to CGC. Forget what they're doing with the pulps, because that's impossible to tell me. You're telling me you're going through. Wait, I'll get pulps in a second. I did it before on my last video, but yeah, I have. And the price was good. Obscure Charlton books, and it's CGC, and I'm getting it cheaper than what it is raw. I mean, it just makes sense. Do I trust the service? Absolutely not. I crack it, I look at it, I count the pages and everything else, and so far, so good. And again, the grades that we got, I looked at a book recently, said a 9.8. There's rips, there's binary tears. They say they don't count that. Sometimes I heard other people say they don't count it. It's part of the deal. But the corner's torn. There's it's torn by the staples. There's creases in the cover, but still came back in 9.8. I can look at it and tell you that it's nowhere in 9.8. But people still pay it. I'm in awe of that. I just don't, and I don't understand why. It's such a lucrative thing. I mean, there's people who take stacks and stacks and stacks of books, and it's expensive. Again, they're manipulating. I wouldn't care what people do with their collection, but when it spills over, I guess that's my real point. When it spills over to what I want to do, what I want to collect, what I want to do with my collection, and it's manipulating that, it's 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 morphing it into something that I do not like. That's where I have a problem with it. There's people who are charging money for raw books as if they're graded, telling me it's a whatever candidate. I hate hearing that term. It's a 6.0 candidate. It's a 9.0. You know what? No, it's not. Let's agree upon ourselves what the grade is. I'll give you a fair price. You either take it or you don't. We'll talk about it. But it's bleeding over where the comic books are becoming to the point of being you can't obtain them. Uh, and I said it before in my other video. The dealers, thanks to CGC and the market, are pricing themselves out of the go-to books, be it pre-code horror or superhero, and now they're going to other companies that no one cares about, which is my passion. In Charlton, I can't. I'm not going to pay. I can't say I can't because you can do anything you want. I mean, it just takes a flip of a piece of plastic to get something. I don't use credit cards to buy comic books. I save up for it or I trade. But you're getting to a point where we're asking four figures for a Charlton pre-code horror just because it's pre-code horror. You know, there's no other than having a gruesome cover. The stories are, and I'll admit it, the stories are mediocre. The art is mediocre at best. This is where I'm talking about 50s Charlton. We're not talking about Ditko now. Ditko's a whole different ball game all into itself. His stuff is just going crazy right now with Charlton. Luckily, I have some of it. I struck with the iron before the iron was hot. I got some stuff. I traded what did I trade not too long ago? Oh, I can't remember what I traded. It was a Ditko cover. It said Ditko Interiors. Anyway, but it's got to a point where you just can't get them just because the pre-code horror is hot because that's the next stepping stone. They price themselves out of the other books, and Charlton. Let's try that. Let's just try to get money for the Charltons that I've had in my comic book warehouse for 20 million years, and now I'm going to bring them out and put them on the wall where no one cared about them before. That's what I don't like. It's spilled over into the regular comic market, and if a CGC book, if CGC price themselves as a CGC book alone, it's a whole separate market. Fine, I couldn't care less. But it's making other books not available, higher prices, because dealers are going to make their money if they're losing out on CGC. They're going to make it elsewhere. I guess my rant's over with right now. Under some funny books. We're back to Judge Death. He's pretty cool. Some other stuff I picked up again is not for birthday stuff. It's just speaking of Charlton, and I'm on the romance, not a romance kick, but I'm getting romance when I can find them. I'm getting romance. Woo! Looks like looking for love in all the wrong places, right? One of the ones I picked up is Teenage Love, number 76. I gotta rebag and board these. I haven't got my Mylars in yet. This is Linda, who stumbled into Johnny's love life and dramatically left it. Stranger in the Night. These are becoming harder and harder to find. I'm not saying it because, oh, I want to put a make the market go up. It's just what it is. Romance, DC and Charlton romance are getting kind of a little bit of pricey. Like that one was $9, but that's a fair price. That's a fair price. I didn't mind paying that. This is Billy the Kid, number 84. 2 complete features in this. Just picked these up recently. Here's a good one. Career Girl Romances. What is this? It's like number 41 or 47 or 42, something like that. This is a pretty good cover. I'm slacking in getting these. And you got funds and you're going through the Charlton boxes and you're seeing, can I get a Ditko Charlton or can I get a romance book? So you kind of have to weigh what's going on in your collection. This is Career Girl Romances, number 63. Vote for me, darling. These are pretty nice. But look at the color on that. It's pretty nice. One of the things I picked up from the dollar bin, I War Machine had organic armor at some point, and Jim Calafiore, one of my favorite artists, drew some issues of War Machine, at least the covers. I don't think he did the interiors, but this issue of War Machine is in the dollar bin. The artwork is not it's not very good. Haven't read the story yet, but the armor was designed by Calafiore, and in this book is his drawn by Jim back in '94 of the I can't even say XO because it reminds me of XO Manowar. War Machine's alien armor has the spec sheet on it and different sketches that Jim did. So this is the claim to fame for me for this issue of War Machine number 20. It's got some staining on the cover. I need to get it again. And talking about what was great about prices going down, this next few books I'm going to show you were a pretty hefty price about a year ago. And it was a time I wasn't reading this book, but Peacemaker, originally a Charlton character, and because of the TV series, everyone's loving the Peacemaker all of a sudden, which the TV show is completely different than the Charlton character, so I don't even consider him the same, other than in title alone. So what happened was going through a dollar bin. Usually I don't, but these were bagged and boarded, and I was able to find these at a relatively great price at $1. And look, Checkmate number 16. And look, there's Peacemaker for a whopping $1. This book was about $20 last year, $30. And I wasn't going to pay that because, there's Peacemaker was in it. Because it's no longer, and again, we've got number 17. Peacemaker. He Goes Wild. Again, I haven't read these yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I like the Peacemaker, and I liked him as a Charlton character years and years and years ago. I got a commission from Jim Calafiore, Peacemaker, from like 2012 or something like that. Okay, everybody, let's party. Oh, geez. Let's Peacemaker once again. That's Checkmate number 18. Here's Checkmate number 20. Back off, you quacks. Ha! His insurance policy just came in. Artwork's pretty decent. I heard this was a good series though. I need to get the whole run and read it because it looks like it's pretty good. And this was, I see this book $100 at certain cons on the wall. Number 23. And the one in the Vigilante issue with Checkmate in it. Checkmate with Peacemaker in it. Was hefty. I'm sure you can find it now pretty cheap. And that was number 20, I can't see, 23, and here's number 32. Again, got some nice Peacemaker action going on. So that was pretty cool. I got that for $1. All those were for $1. All those checkmates, $1 a piece. Onward to some other stuff. Oh man, Judge Death don't want to stand up. There he is. All right, Alter Ego number 188. Very much of a cool issue. It's a $24.95 issue, but it's a king size special, and it's daring and the different, the daring and the different. Okay, so this is again, Alter Ego is just, if you want to know comic history, and anyone who knows comics and reads comic books and enjoys older books, you know Alter Ego is a place to be, along with our good old back issue magazine. This is 152. I'm surprised at these awesome trade publications I've gone so far. Not saying I'm surprised, because they're really good. I mean, you pay $2.95, but it's well worth every single penny. The interviews, the features, the content. Tomorrow's just does a fantastic job. This always cracked me up, and that made me mad too, because when I was a kid, I bought this, the adapting the classics, Marvel Classics comics, and Dracula. They drew like the Tomb of Dracula, and I always thought that was funny. And you buy it, and it's not the Tomb of Dracula. You're like, what? What happened, man? So I got that. That's, I mean, again, anyone who I'm going to say, anyone who knows comics, who knows how special they are gonna read those books, and they understand it. Who appreciate the history, not just slapping a book and throwing it on the wall behind you and like, oh, I'm a comic book collector. Look at how many slabs I have. But there'll be slabs of nothing but key books. They won't have issues before or after or the run or complete. It'll just be those. It will just be those certain books. It annoys the crap out of me. And you know as well as I know, I'd say most key books are not worth the money they're paying. It might be a first appearance of the character. It might be a first appearance of something happens in it. I don't know. I don't care. But there's other books that are far more interesting and entertaining, and the artwork and the storyline. I'll give you an instance. What if number 3? What if the Avengers had never been? Jim Shooter writes a story. Gil Kane, Klaus Janson, phenomenal book. Great story, great art. Hits you every time you read it. But you can find that book for $10. But you have a key where the artwork is not really good. And I'm not talking about your Tales of Suspense 39s or your Marvel Spotlights number 5. I'm talking about people who get these recent books that are just dreck, that just for a cover hack they're spending $300 or $400 on, and just, you get my point. Anyway, Shock Suspense Stories number 1, Classics, Impact. Got this. It was $5. $5. You can't beat that. Got a little Steve Canyon action. Number 1 from Kitchen Sink. I should have got more of these back in the day. This was only $5 as well. I got the Spirit a lot from Kitchen Sink, but the Steve Canyon, I didn't do. I wish I did, because it's just great stuff. The older I get, the more I learn. I mean, I knew about Milton Caniff and Steve Canyon back when I was young, but I would buy the strips, reprinted strips and fanzines and stuff. But when you're a kid, comic book money is tight. Got this. I forgot to even look at it when I bought it. Hulk. I have to make sure. Oh yeah, it does have that. We got Gene Colan's Hulk, man. Gosh, Look at that. I'm moving the wrong way. Man, that is awesome. And got a Cody Starbucks story in this. I mean, Dominic Fortune. Same difference, right? Um, yeah, Gene Colan. Look at his Hulk, man. Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure it was that story. I'm not a big Hulk person per se. I like certain stories, um, certain villains. I like his villains more than I like the Hulk. The UFOs were always cool. I remember when I first saw the UFOs, how cool they were. The By Beast, all those guys are great. Um, Monsters of Filmland 103, obviously because of Creature of the Black Lagoon. And I had this issue. I bought it off the rack. And for some reason, we had to go to the laundromat, obviously to do laundry. But we always had washing machines in the house, so I don't know if they were broken. But for some reason, I'm in the laundromat and I have this. And I set it down. I was reading it. Well, and I set it down and I got distracted and I left the issue there. But this was this one, and I remember having this issue. I bought off the rack because we were going to the laundromat. Back again, I'm behind on my back issues. This one, I'm not a big fan of Sandman. So Howler Mouse, if you're watching this video and you have not ordered this yet, I will peruse it and send it your way because there is a Sandman Mystery Theater article that I want to read. But I know you're a Sandman fan, Howler, and if you're looking at this and you want this back issue, once I'm done with it, you may have it. I'll send it your way. Among my birthday gifts, my wife got for me Doc Savage and the Frightened Fish. This is Will Murray continuing Kenneth Robeson, Lester Dent, Doc Savage stories. A lot of these are from, I don't know if this particular one is from outlines that they found in Lester Dent's estate. And Will Murray is continuing the awesome stories of Doc Savage. So you got this cool Doc Savage. One of the things that are really comic book related, but I still want to mention it because I think it's important. Paramount Records, the rise and fall of Paramount Records. This is a very important, if you're into music, it's a very important record company that put out records 1917, 1918 to about the late 30s or so. There's nothing left of Paramount Records. They have destroyed the originals, so to speak. So any Paramount record that's out there is the only recording, meaning there cannot be any reissues other than from other people loaning their discs to record from. The aluminum platters that they used were thrown away by disgruntled employees, the legend has it. But let me show you something. I'm in love with Paramount. Third Man Records, Jack White has Third Man Records put out 2 volumes, 2 collections. This is volume 1. This is how important this record company is. This is Paramount Records volume 1 in this. Comes with a lot of stuff. It's called a Wonder Cabinet. If you go on YouTube, type in Wonder Cabinet, they talk about this. This is from 1917 to 1923, I think, is the date this covers. And this is volume 2 of Paramount Records. This is the same thing. It's also on YouTube. This is from 1924 to the end, and it comes in this awesome cabinet. It's hard to it's not hard to open, but I can't really show you on the video what this looks like. But it's great stuff. They did a phenomenal job doing this. And what Paramount, what they did was that they what they call race records. Obviously, African American artists, blues singers, spirituals, just people talking sermons, um, anything that the traditional record companies would not record. Paramount Records did that. A lot of people who are known in the record industry in blues and gospel recorded at Paramount first, along with Gennett or Jennett. I think it's Gennett. Where's it Jennett? Jennett maybe. Out of Richmond, Indiana. Same thing. But anyway, this is an awesome book. I probably know a lot of stuff already in this, but it's good to have another resource on Paramount Records. I know it's not comic book related, but it's kind of interesting. It's kind of neat. Just look at Paramount Records. Look at Wonder Cabinet on YouTube. Great stuff. I mean, it's Jack White did a phenomenal job. They won Grammys for both sets of the Paramount Record people, or the Paramount Record collection. Again, it's everything that they did. What they did was, in those collections, is they have each one has different records, obviously, like 8 or 9 records per set. History book, hardcover history book, some other stuff within it, like posters and promotional material, reproductions, of course, but on a flash drive that's reminiscent. One is reminiscent of a stylus from a phonograph, and the other one looks like a front of an old car. You plug it into your computer, and it has like over 1,000 songs and the artist, the date, everything else that they recorded these. So it's everything that's available from Paramount is in that set, both those sets, and they got a book in there of who recorded it, when, what year. It's just, the history alone is well worth the money of these sets. Now they're really expensive. I got them as a gift from my wife. Christmas, one Christmas, one the other Christmas, and now they're very pricey because everyone wants to jack things up. But unfortunately, but again, Paramount Records, if you're into old music, I highly recommend it. Another thing I got for my birthday, for my wife, tomorrow's They Do No Wrong, as far as I'm concerned. I got the Dave Cockrum book. Again, for someone who's been in the industry, who's contributed so much, he's still not appreciated enough, I think. He's designed so many characters and costumes, and his artwork is so good. And once he got sick, it's like no one cared. It's like, you know, who, Dave Cockrum, who? Oh, he did X-Men. Oh, John Byrne. Oh my God, he's great. He's phenomenal. But you mentioned Dave Cockrum, and they're like, really, that's what it's like to me, anyway. People in the inside industry could have a different take on it. I'm just going as a fan. If you have someone who's a Dave Cockrum, show them something from Dave Cockrum, show them something from John Byrne, X-Men. Everyone goes crazy for John Byrne, but Dave's the man. He's missed. It's sad what happened to him, his sickness and everything, and it's just got great color features in here, articles. Again, it's highly recommended. Tomorrow's, man, they just do phenomenal stuff. Highly, highly recommend this book. Not for my birthday, but I did pick up. Did I talk about? I think I already talked about Adventure Man. Yeah, I think I already did. I know I've been 45 minutes in this already. I've not even gotten to The awesome AOK I got from my buddy Bill from Instagram. Um, one of the things that we do for each other in this great hobby that we have called comic books and all things literary, of course, associated with comic books is do AOKs. And he sent me this awesome. I'm not gonna go through it all today, guys. I'm sorry, but this he sent to me all Charlton war books. Yeah, I'm gonna send these to CGC, get them clean and pressed. They're 9.8 candidates, and I'll do an unboxing of my CGC books. I won't read them, but I'll have them on my wall. We can all look at them together. So I'm gonna show a few of them, probably about 10 minutes worth, if everyone wants to hang tight. Um, yeah, he sent this to me. Um, they're not in any order because I'm still in the middle of putting them in my little Charlton black book. I write things down. I don't use computer. Not that I'm saying, oh, I'm not into computers. I would love to start a on my phone and have these apps that track your collection. I would love it. I just don't have the patience, to be honest with you, to start all over again. Excuse me. I have written things down. I have these little books. One looking for Charlton and everything else. That I write down what I need on my want list. That's how I do it. I would love to have something that can track my collection. I know they're out there. Friends of mine have recommended it. Friends of mine have showed me, and I think it's the coolest thing. I just got to get my collection the way I want it, organized in order, and maybe that will give me a kick in the pants to start doing that on my phone. Without further ado, we have Fighting Army 124. I don't know this artist. God, I don't know his name. I don't know. I never heard of him before. I'm probably seen him, I just don't remember. Great cover though on this Fighting Army. Fighting Army number 96. The Sting. Oh, they sting that tiger. Okay. I'm still putting these in order. Of course, reading them. Fighting Army number 107. Don Perlin. Rest in peace. We just lost him recently. Unfortunately. Great artist, craftsman of this genre of comic book fun. He was Sam Glasman on this cover, number 86 of Fighting Army. Yeah, always loved Don Perlin. Growing up, it was like the mainstays. It was Don Perlin, Jim Mooney, Mike Plug, Ron Wilson, Keith Pollard, Sal Buscema, um, Billy Graham, and Keith Pollard. I can remember if Keith Pollard or not. Bob Layton, Joe Staten. Those were the guys that I always remember. It's like you pick up a comic. I would pick up a comic book as a kid. I would always seem like to see their names. They always stuck in my mind because even as a kid, I was never a Superman fan or a Superman or a Spider-Man. I never went after unless it was a Marvel team up or World's Finest where they had other characters and stuff going on. I always liked the street level characters. It seemed like growing up, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Captain America. Well, Iron Man was my guy, but he's kind of like he's not a cosmic character, Mister All Powerful cosmic guy, but his stories were great. And again, you had George Tuska on that at the time. And of course, Werewolf by Night, Tomb of Dracula. Those are the titles that I was like just bringing in and enjoying all the time. Werewolf by Night. Again, you had Don Perlin on that. So um, It really shocked him. I mean, the old guard slowly disappearing, and I'm the one to say it. I have no problem saying it that what we have left, who are doing comic books now, are not are not up to speed or up to task like the old guard was. And the ones who are still with us from the 70s, they're not invited to cons. They're not, or the cons are just too much for them. It's not. You can leisurely walk in with your portfolio and just sit down and at a table and do sketches and talk to fans. Now it's a big, huge hoopla of of things for these older writers and artists and stuff that from our childhood that are still with us. It's sad because most of the talent now, in my opinion, can't. Most again, there's always exceptions, you know, but most of them can't hold a candle to what we had. Again, it's not nostalgia. It's not, oh, I'm old, so new is not good. Because there's some new stuff that I dig. People talk about the '90s. Oh, the '90s were so horrible, but I tell you, there was some great stuff. Sandman Mystery Theater, Starman, Tony Harris, and James Robinson from the '90s. You had the miniseries of Doctor Midnight. You had um, the Golden Age. You had Kingdom Come. Was that the '90s or 2000s? Well, at least you had the Marvels. There's a lot of great stuff in the '90s. So I'm not one of these guys that just jumps on something that it's new, it's bad because I'll investigate anything. But some of these newer artists that people just glom onto, I don't get it. Waiting in line for hours just to, I don't know. Anyway, onto my comic books. I don't know why I'm negative in my last two videos. I shouldn't be so negative. This is Fighting Army 166. Because I enjoy this. I'm in my own little room, in my little microcosm of the world. But when I step out of it and things are influencing what I can buy and to collect, it bugs the crap out of me. Fighting Army 161. That's a crazy cover. Who did this? I do not know. I have to look it up. It's a pretty cool cover, though. That pink is kind of sets it off. All right, a few more minutes and then. All new. Our fighting forces in action. Attack number 11. Ooh, Jack Keller. Nice. I always dig Jack Keller. He's another underrated and unknown individual. This is pretty cool. Attack number 4. You can hear those planes just screaming through that. Yeah, Jack Keller did a lot of stuff for Charlton. A lot of the race car and hot rod racing cars, and he also, of course, did a lot of westerns for Marvel. I just like Jack Keller. The Iron Corporal. Introducing the Iron Corporal. Wow, this is number 22 of Army War Heroes. I have the reprint of this from the mid 80s, which had a little print run because Charlton was closing its doors. Fighting Army number 163. The Steel Coffin. Again, uh, it's one of those things that you look back on what thrilled you on getting comic books. Walking into a comic store the first time, and this is '78 at an actual comic book store, not a 7-Eleven or a Hagg's drugstore or a Hook's drugstore or whatever, but a comic book store and seeing that spinner rack and seeing what comic books attracted you to, like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm going to collect comic books. I'm going to read it. I'm going to keep up with it. If I did that now, I'd find very little that would strike my fancy, unfortunately. Um, this is Fighting Army 155. Bill, if you're watching again, buddy, thank you so much for these great books. I think it's a double, or it might be another Don Perlin. It might be. Yeah, I have a double of Fighting Army 107. So I'll put that together with it. And I will gift the double to a friend who also loves Charlton books. War Heroes. This is a great cover. What number is that? 16 or 76? Charlton always did this with the little numbers way up at the top. Hard to tell what number this is. I'm not going to take it out and look at the indicia, but we're short on time. It's almost an hour, but I will do that because it's the way things are. My glasses all jacked up. Number 16, 1965. The Beach. Pretty cool cover. War Heroes number 15. Oh, that's kind of creepy. Nice red cover. Army War Heroes number 11, it looks like. Might be Sam Glasman on the cover. Big fan of Sam Glasman. Does some great work for Charlton and Dell. Giordano cover. And Master Sorio. Army War Heroes number 16. Fighting Army 168. Fighting Army 160. The war covers were just different during this time than the horror and romance covers. There's just something different about it. I can't put my finger on it. This is a crazy cover. This is Fighting Army 157. Again, this is a boon to my Charlton collection for war comics. I'm going to have to get a whole new short box now. Probably 3 more. When I've been organizing my Charltons, I already have 2 short boxes, 2 short magazine boxes of war books from Charlton. So with this, once I bag and board these in Mylar and a board, there'll probably be another short box. So I'll have 3 short boxes of just Charlton war books. Another Don Perlin cover, 109. Fighting Army. Fighting Army 112. Fighting Army 122. Boyette. Oh, I can tell. One thing about Boyette and the Charlton printing, his artwork is so good, but it gets, when he uses these techniques, it gets muddied because of the printing. The cheap printing Charlton had. Oh, this is a good cover by Pat Boyette. Fighting Army 121. Again, Pat Boyette's another unsung hero of comic book art fantastic draftsman. I mean, he uses everything. I mean, pencils, paints. I mean, from what it looks like, I'm not a comic book expert. I mean, art expert at all. But it looks like all the stuff that he uses is the is everything from colored pencils to watercolors to paints to pencil to everything. He seems to use it all, and it makes for an excellent comic book. Fighting Army 147. You see how the covers are just there's something about these covers. I just can't. I don't know. It looks like they're paste stuffs or something. Um, Different than the horror. Motorcycle Monaghan became a legend. 146 of Fighting Army. Fighting Army 137. Fighting Army 141. Fighting Army 130. I don't know who did this cover. All right, I'm at an hour. I got this much still to go. Wow, I have to do it later. A different video. I don't want to keep everyone for an hour. Um, However, tonight I might show them. We have Graphic Man. I'll be on Graphic Man this evening on his channel at 8 o'clock. He's going to have some of the four color fossils up here and talk comic books. So if you're interested and you're not doing anything before the 4th, tonight 8 o'clock on his channel, Graphic Man Comics, we'll be hanging out there for a little bit, talking comic books and showing funny books. So um, be there, be square. Trying to think of anything else. Not really. I've complained enough. I got to be more positive. I usually am. It's just the last few months. Again, I'm going to go off here for a second. Last few months is just it's just you just look on Instagram and stuff and just see people just doing I don't know. I just don't like when it bleeds into what I'm doing with my collection and other folks that that collect and read and enjoy it, what it is. Sequential. There it is. Sequential storytelling. Not too many artists can do that this day and age. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I know there's a lot you can be doing other than sitting here listening to me ramble and complain about funny books. Again, the grand scheme of things, who really cares? Can't take it with us. It just is what it is. Um, but I appreciate the time. Again, I thank you so much for being here. And again, comment if you agree, don't agree, want to complain with me or commiserate with me or tell me I'm an idiot. That's fine too. It all makes the world go around. It is what it is. So as they say, but please engage and let me know what you think. And I'll talk to you guys later. And again, see you tonight on Graphic Man. And you guys have a good one.